Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas is the world's largest cruise ship, and on March 4th, 2022, it'll have its inaugural sailing. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jay, and welcome to the Shiplife. So I literally just booked my cruise on board Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas today. In fact, about an hour ago, and I'm super excited. Now, this will be my first Royal Caribbean cruise that I'll be taking. I've been on Royal Caribbean ships before. However, it wasn't on a sailing. I was just working on ships at the time. I had friends that worked on Royal Caribbean ships, and they allowed me to go on board while the ship was in a port of call. Now, I do know that booking at the last possible second is somewhat taboo for a lot of people. Usually people, when they book their cruises as a passenger, they book a couple months or even a year or two out in advance. So I figured for this video, I would share my experience because it was somewhat different than my other booking experiences whenever I book my cruises. So in order to book my cruise on the world's largest cruise ship, I did not book through a travel agency. Instead, I just simply booked directly through the Royal Caribbean official website. And by the way, it was extremely easy to navigate through. I just simply found the ship that I was sailing on, which was Wonder of the Seas, and the exact sailing date, which was March 4th, and just like that, I was off to the races. From there, they just confirmed the pricing range that was available for this particular sailing, as well as the itinerary. After that, they just went to a vaccine advisory, which was pretty cut and dry and simple to understand. So on Royal Caribbean ships, you could be vaccinated and unvaccinated. Well, not in this particular case because we're going to the Bahamian Islands, and the Bahamian government has made it so that everybody that is going over to that area must be fully vaccinated. However, just on the website, they say that if you want the fully vaccinated status, which does not include boosters, you have to have been vaccinated at least 14 days or 2 weeks prior to your cruise. Now, if you're unvaccinated, which again, in this particular case, I don't think this is an option unless you have an exemption, you are subject to more testing. I'm assuming it's going to be somewhere in the range of maybe having a pre-cruise test and having that submitted, and then another test right before you board, or maybe a mid-cruise test, something of that nature. Now, also, if somebody happens to be 12 and under, it is great if they are fully vaccinated because they can get the fully vaccinated status. But if they happen to not be fully vaccinated, then of course, just like somebody else that isn't vaccinated, they are subject to more testing. Now, after we got all that out of the way, we went over to the stateroom options. So on board this Royal Caribbean ship, they of course ask how many staterooms you'll be needing. In this particular case with me, I just said 1. They asked how many people I was sailing with. I said 2 because it'll be myself and my girlfriend Lauren that is visiting from France, which I'm really excited about because this will be our very first cruise together. Now, back when I worked on board the NCL Escape as an entertainer and breakdancer, it was a little different. She was on board, but it was kind of one of those things where I could see her every now and then. So this is technically our first sailing together. But anyway, so they had a couple options. It was your standard options as far as staterooms to choose from. They had your standard interior stateroom, they had ocean view, and then they also had the balcony and of course the Royal Caribbean suites. Now, for this particular cruise, and because I'm booking so late, the Royal Caribbean suites are completely sold out, which I wasn't going to book one anyway because I can't even imagine what a Royal Caribbean suite for the world's largest cruise ship during the inaugural sailing is going to cost. I'm just going to kind of ballpark it here and say it's going to be anywhere between $10,000 and $15,000 at minimum. However, I've seen Royal Caribbean suites go as high as anywhere from $40,000, $50,000, even up to $70,000 for 1 week, which is absolutely insane to me, mind-blowing. I can't imagine who even has that kind of money to just kind of blow in 1 week. Well, you're not blowing it, you're going on an amazing vacation, but still, you get my point. Anyway, so when it came to the selection of my stateroom, I did choose the cheapest option possible, which was the interior stateroom. However, from there, they do give you a couple additional options to choose from when it comes to the interior stateroom. They have the Central Park interior, which I believe, and what I saw, comes with the window, which looks pretty cool. They have the regular interior to choose from. They have the connecting interior. They also have the virtual balcony interior, which I heard is pretty cool. And they say it pretty much looks like you have a balcony stateroom, except you obviously can't walk outside and feel the ocean breeze, which sucks, but I'm sure is a cool option. And they also have the spacious interior, which gives you a lot of room in the event that maybe you're sailing with a family or you just want a little bit more wiggle room inside of your stateroom during your cruise. Now, I did end up selecting the Central Park interior stateroom. That way they had that little window so I can stand in front of it and do my little naked dance for the world to see. Wrong cruise. I mean, so I can get a beautiful view of all the festivities that are going on outside during my amazing sailing. Now, after that, they did ask what part of the ship you want your stateroom to be in. Now, of course, perks of booking last minute, they have, of course, aft, the midship, and the forward. However, like I said, because I booked last minute, the only place that was available was midship, so I selected that. After that, you select the deck, which the only place that was available was deck 9 for me, and then they asked exactly where you want your room, and there was only a couple left, so I just kind of winged it and picked one. Now after that, they want your personal guest information, like your dining time. The only ones that I saw available was 5:30 and 8 o'clock, so I decided to go ahead and pick the 5:30 early dining. That way I can get to all the shows and, of course, having a drink or two later on in the evening, so I can have a little bit of a soiree, a party. And then from there, of course, they want more information. They want to know if you want to do the prepaid gratuities. You can turn it on or off depending on your personal preference, and I'm not going to hold anybody to it. I know a lot of people have their views on how they want to, orchestrate the tips, which again, it's a personal preference. After that, they ask if you want to do a refundable deposit, which obviously I said no because we're so close to the cruise anyway. I'm going to have to pay all that off anyway, but this does allow you to do like refunds. And then after that, they ask if you want to do the protection plan, which is basically the insurance. It costs about $139 per stateroom, which allows you to, of course, cancel your cruise. And if something should happen, like a medical emergency, a bag issues, all of that is taken care of. And for that price, again, the $139, $140, just like that, you're taken care of. Now, sailing over to the payment process, it was pretty simple to understand. My total for my entire cruise came out to just over $2,100, which is not bad at all for an inaugural sailing. And then after that, they ask you if you want things like you want to do a deposit, which you can just pay $500. The final payment is due literally 1 week from now. So it doesn't really make sense for me to just go ahead and pay $500 now and then the rest of the $1,500 plus on March 1st. Now, after that, they also ask if you want to potentially receive a $200 discount by applying for Royal Caribbean's credit card, which my credit is not the greatest. I probably wouldn't get approved for it, so I didn't do it. Either way, I just go ahead and made the final payment, and just like that, I was good to go. So it wasn't until after I made my initial booking that Royal Caribbean allows you to book anything that you might need, like extra stuff, like of course the drink packages and Wi-Fi, anything of that nature. Now, it confused me a little bit because I do know that some cruise lines, and depending if you're booking with a travel agent, things are done just a little bit differently. They might have you do it throughout the initial booking process, or they might have you do it after. So after you make the initial booking, you just go to like manage my booking on the Royal Caribbean site, and from there you can pick what you want. Now, I saw the drink package. It was like $70 a day, but you also have to pay for 2 people. Keep in mind, if you're sailing with 2 people, $70 a day, it came out to about $1,200 for the entire cruise. Now, me personally, I do drink, but I don't think I'm gonna drink $1,200 between myself and my girlfriend worth of liquor. It's just not going to happen. So I decided to opt out personally for me for the drink package. However, I know it's something that a lot of people see as beneficial and of course cost effective. Now, of course, you can pick like the water park package, and then they have the Wi-Fi as well. I forgot the initial price per day, but for both my girlfriend and I, it came out to, for one device for the entire cruise, about $315. Now, I need my Wi-Fi because I need to be able to work, but they also had a bunch of other things that you could select as well. And honestly, I thought the options that they had available was pretty cool. As far as the pricing, expected. It's an inaugural sailing. Now, of course, you can book your excursions in advance. They do have all of them broken down in a very simple way, just by port of call. So you can go ahead and get that out of the way. Now, one thing that I personally did not like, even though I know this is kind of like the status quo, the standard of cruising to a certain degree on most cruise lines, is that you can't book any of your dining reservations. If you want to go to specialty dining option, the shows, any extracurricular onboard activities, none of that can be booked until you are on board the actual cruise ship, which kind of frustrates me to a certain degree, because basically that kind of process just ends up becoming a race of who paid the most money. That way they can get, of course, pre-booking or pre-boarding and all that stuff, and maybe the people that showed up early and didn't have an inconvenience. So now you got the people that get on last that have, kind of like the last pick when it comes to everything. And it just kind of sucks, because now you're at that point where maybe you got to book a certain time or date that you didn't really want to book. It's a horrible process. But either way, guys, I am still excited to get on this particular ship. I'm beyond excited. It is, like I said, my first Royal Caribbean ship. I'm just speechless at this point to be on the largest ship in the world. As most of you know, I did go over to France during the building process of Wonder of the Seas, and I got to see it before a lot of people got to. So it's going to be a cool experience just to be able to hop on board. Anyway, guys, if any of you are going on this particular sailing on March 4th, please let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you guys can also put it in the comment section, or you can reach out. All my contacts are, of course, in the description box below, from my email to my Instagram, and even my Facebook group, which you guys should follow. It's free, by the way. A lot of knowledgeable people there. Also, of course, on your way out, guys, hit that like button, share this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, you guys take it easy.